Welcome to Travel Wisdom and our guide on staying safe while traveling in Tanzania. While this beautiful country offers incredible experiences, there are some risks you need to be aware of. In this video, we'll cover potential dangers, what to look out for, and most importantly, share essential safety tips to ensure your trip is both enjoyable and secure. But before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment on what makes you want to visit Tanzania. Also, check out the links in our bio. Let's dive in. Several governments are advising caution due to threats of terrorist attacks and the targeting of tourists. Terrorist attacks can happen anywhere, including places where foreigners go, such as places of worship, transport hubs, embassies, hotels, restaurants, bars, big events like sports or religious gatherings, and crowded areas. Here are some tips on how to protect yourself from terrorism. Stay alert and aware of your surroundings, keep a low profile, pay close attention to your personal security, keep up with local news, remain vigilant in crowded areas and places popular with tourists, and follow advice from local authorities. Political situation. Sometimes demonstrations and political rallies in Tanzania can turn violent and result in fatalities. Police may use tear gas or live ammunition to control crowds. If you find yourself near a demonstration, stay alert, be aware of your surroundings, and move away if you see signs of trouble. Crime, armed robbery, and violent crime are concerns, especially in tourist areas like Dar es Salaam and Zanzibar. Be wary of the city center, Cocoa Beach, Stone Town, and tourist beaches. Bag snatching is common, often carried out by criminals on cars or motorbikes. When walking, face oncoming traffic so you can see vehicles approaching. Stay as far from the road as possible, and if you can, avoid walking close to the road completely. Also, carry bags loosely, and avoid walking alone at night. Don't carry large amounts of cash or display valuables like expensive jewelry. Keep your passport in a safe place and carry a copy for ID checks. When in a vehicle, keep doors locked, windows up, and valuables out of sight. Be extra cautious at night and don't stop if pedestrians or hitchhikers try to flag you down. Stay aware of express kidnapping. In Dar es Salaam, some tourists have been express kidnapped. This involves being assaulted and forced to withdraw cash from ATMs under threat of violence. Some have been coerced into arranging cash transfers up to £5,000 through Western Union after being befriended by strangers or getting into unlicensed taxis. Burglary is a concern. Secure your accommodation by locking all doors and windows, especially at night. If your place has a security guard, ensure they have proper identification before allowing anyone in. If something seems off, don't let strangers in and raise the alarm if needed. Victims of crime. If you or someone you know is a victim of a crime abroad, contact the local police and your embassy. Dress code. Dress modestly throughout Tanzania. In Zanzibar and Pemba, especially in Stone Town, wearing shorts or sleeveless tops away from tourist areas may offend locals. Zanzibari authorities can impose fines of $700 or more for inappropriate clothing in public. Guides or tour operators could face fines starting at $1,000. Environmental and legal considerations. Plastic bags are banned in Tanzania. If you arrive by air, you'll need to hand over any plastic bags. Those Ziploc bags for security purposes are exempt. Tanzania has strict drug laws. Even small amounts can lead to fines, while larger quantities can result in severe penalties, including imprisonment. Tanzanian prisons are often overcrowded and unsanitary. Discrimination and harassment. BAME travelers might face additional scrutiny. Stay calm and ask for your country's embassy to be notified if needed. LGBT+ travelers. Same-sex sexual activity is illegal in Tanzania, including Zanzibar. Public displays of affection such as holding hands or kissing can lead to arrest or imprisonment due to the conservative nature of Tanzanian society. Same-sex sexual activity can lead to 30 years in prison, with authorities targeting LGBTQIA+ rights activists. Money and transactions. Currency. Most banks in major cities have ATMs that accept foreign debit cards and dispense Tanzanian shillings, though they may occasionally break down or run out of cash. Use ATMs inside banks to reduce the risk of card cloning. Outdoor activities and adventure. Trekking and climbing. Only use reputable travel companies, stick to established routes, and always trek in groups. Be well prepared for the terrain and temperature conditions. Transport risks. Be cautious of poor road conditions and driving standards. Avoid night driving and ensure your vehicle is in good condition. Roads and national parks can become hazardous after heavy rain. Avoid driving outside major towns and cities at night. Police checkpoints are common. Ask to see identification if stopped and do not make on-the-spot payments for fines. Buses and taxis, local buses, motorbike taxis, and tuk-tuks often lack safety standards and insurance, leading to frequent accidents. Avoid accepting rides from strangers. Use reputable taxis or book through hotels. Avoid public transport at night. When using public transport, don't accept drinks or food from strangers. Be cautious with requests for donations from refugees or students, and donate through established agencies instead. In cities and tourist areas, always take taxis at night from established ranks or hotels. Never enter a taxi with someone already inside other than the driver. Rail travel. Accidents have occurred on Tanzanian railways. Seek local advice for train travel, lake and sea travel. Ferry disasters have occurred, including fatal incidents between Dar es Salaam and Zanzibar and within the lake zone. Avoid overloaded or unsafe ferries and be aware of emergency procedures and life jacket locations. Watch out for aggressive ticket touts. Ships, cruise liners, and commercial vessels are at risk from Somali pirates. Be alert and exercise extreme caution in coastal waters. Do not leave the site of the coastline. Health and safety are paramount when traveling in Tanzania. Let's talk about vaccinations first. Proof of yellow fever vaccination may be required if you're arriving from or transiting through a yellow fever risk country. Malaria is prevalent throughout Tanzania, so consider taking medication and using mosquito repellent and nets. Vaccinations for typhoid, hepatitis A and B, and rabies are also recommended for travelers. Be sure to consult your healthcare provider before your trip. HIV and AIDS are widespread, so take necessary precautions if you plan to engage in high-risk activities. Keep in mind that medical facilities are limited and medicines may not always be available. In case of illness or injury, you might need to be evacuated to another country, which can be quite costly. For medical emergencies in Tanzania, you can call the toll-free health emergency number 112. When it comes to water and food safety, there are a few key points to remember. Always drink bottled water and avoid tap water. Use bottled or boiled water for drinking and brushing your teeth. For food hygiene, eat at reputable restaurants and avoid street food unless it is cooked in front of you and served hot. Make sure to wash fruits and vegetables or peel them yourself. Now let's talk about wildlife and outdoor activities. If you're going on a safari, always follow your guide's instructions and stay in the vehicle during game drives. Animals can be unpredictable, so it's best to avoid feeding them, as this can be dangerous and disrupt their natural behavior. Stay in designated areas like camps and lodges and do not wander off alone. Choose a reputable company for your safari or trek and never pay in advance without thoroughly checking out the company. Always demand a receipt. For hiking safety, especially if you're planning to climb Kilimanjaro or Mount Meru, use licensed guides and porters. Acclimatize properly to prevent altitude sickness, which can affect anyone above 2,500 meters. If you're climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, which stands at 5,895 meters, ensure you're fit and consult your doctor before traveling. Lastly, stay on marked trails to avoid getting lost or encountering wildlife. Personal safety and security are paramount when traveling. In urban areas, it's crucial to stay vigilant. Be aware of your surroundings, especially in crowded places like markets and bus stations. Avoid displaying valuables. Keep jewelry, electronics, and large amounts of cash out of sight to avoid attracting attention. When it comes to transportation, always use reputable options. Opt for registered taxis or ride-hailing services, and avoid using public transportation late at night. Scams and fraud can also be a concern. Beware of tour scams and book tours and activities through reputable companies. Avoid unsolicited offers. When using ATMs, choose ones located in secure areas like banks or hotels, and always cover the keypad when entering your PIN. Cultural sensitivity is key to having a respectful and enjoyable experience. Respect local customs by dressing modestly, especially in Zanzibar and other predominantly Muslim areas. Women should cover their shoulders and knees and avoid wearing shorts and sleeveless tops outside of resorts. When it comes to photography, always ask permission before taking photos of people, particularly Maasai tribes. It's also important to know that it's illegal to photograph military zones, weapons, or personnel. Being aware of environmental and natural disasters can help you stay safe. Tanzania experiences heavy rains and strong winds typically from late March to May and October to mid-December. Some roads may become impassable due to flooding and landslides. Always check weather forecasts, road conditions, plan your travel carefully, and follow local guidance. Monsoons affect coastal and island areas from July to October, and these regions are also prone to cyclones. Follow local officials' advice during these times. Tanzania is also at risk for earthquakes. The last significant earthquake was a magnitude 6.0 event on August 12, 2020. Check the U.S. Federal Emergency Management Agency website for advice on earthquake preparedness. For sun protection, use sunscreen, wear hats, and stay hydrated, especially during outdoor activities. When enjoying the ocean, swim in designated areas as some beaches may have strong currents or dangerous marine life. For snorkeling and diving, always use reputable operators, ensure equipment is in good condition, and follow safety guidelines. Travel documents and legalities, passport and visa. Ensure your passport is valid for at least 6 months from the date of entry. Check if you need a visa before traveling. Tourist visas can often be obtained on arrival, but it's best to check current regulations. Travel insurance comprehensive coverage. Ensure your travel insurance covers health, accidents, theft, and travel disruptions. Emergency contacts. Know emergency numbers. Tanzania's emergency number is 112. Have contact details of your country's embassy or consulate in Tanzania. It's also good to know that the Australian government advises against traveling within 30 kilometers of the Mozambique border in the Mtwara region due to the risks of militant attacks, terrorism, and kidnappings. In western Tanzania, especially near the Burundi border, check for local updates on banditry and political unrest before traveling. Lastly, here are a few more tips to make your trip easier. Be skeptical of anyone offering safari deals or claiming to know you on the street, at bus stations, or in your hotel. In tourist spots like Arusha, Moshi, and Zanzibar Island, touts can be aggressive. Avoid appearing like a new arrival. Walk confidently and step into a shop if you need to check your directions. Carry important documents and money in a pouch against your skin, hidden under loose clothing. Use a hotel safe for valuables. Keep vehicle windows up in traffic and bags out of sight. When bargaining or negotiating prices, keep your money and wallet out of view. Avoid isolated areas, especially remote beaches, and that safety in numbers is key, but most importantly, check government travel advisories for updated security information. By following these tips, you can help ensure a safer and more enjoyable trip to Tanzania. But remember, these are potential risks that it's good to be aware of, but you can still have a perfectly safe trip to Tanzania. That's it for today's guide. Stay safe and enjoy your travels in Tanzania. Thank you so much for watching. For more tips, subscribe, like, and comment on what makes you want to visit Tanzania. Check the links in the description. See you in the next video.